its ravages and a pioneer in its eradication.
The chairman of the High Authority for Transparency, Prevention and Combating Corruption, Salima Musrati, will take part in the 11th session of the Conference of the States Parties to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, held in the Qatari capital, Doha. The session, organized by the State of Qatar, represented by the Administrative Control of Transparency Authority, will examine several issues related to the fight against corruption in member states and the legal procedures followed by the competent authorities, with high-level participation by heads of states, ministers and officials from law enforcement agencies and bodies responsible for integrity prevention and the fight against corruption. The Islamic resistance movement Hamas has confirmed that it has complied with all the terms of the ceasefire agreement, while the Israeli occupation continues to violate the agreement on a daily basis and fabricate flimsy excuses to evade its obligations. The details with Jamed Salmani.
Hamas stressed in a statement that it rejected all forms of guardianship over Gaza, warning against attempts to displace and re-engineer the Gaza Strip, stressing that the Palestinian people are alone, decide who governs them, are capable of managing their own affairs, and have the legitimate right to defend themselves, liberate their land, and establish their independent state with full sovereignty and Al-Quds as its capital. The movement called on mediators in the U.S. administration to pressure the Israeli occupation to implement the terms of the agreement, condemn its continuous and systematic violations, open the crossings, especially the Rafah crossing, in both directions, and intensify the delivery of aid. It also called on countries to pressure the occupation to immediately implement relief, shelter and reconstruction plans and provide the requirements for a normal human life for more than 2 million Palestinians. Hamas said the crimes of the occupation during the 2 years of extermination and starvation in the Gaza Strip, the West Bank and occupied Al-Quds are systematic and well-documented crimes that will not be forgotten with the passage of time, adding that the International Court of Justice and the International Criminal Court must continue to pressure the occupation, prosecute it, and prevent it from escaping punishment. The Israeli occupation army continues to violate the ceasefire agreement in the Gaza Strip, with renewed airstrikes and artillery shelling reported in several areas. Since the ceasefire agreement on the 11th of last October, a total of 386 fatalities and 1,018 injuries have been recorded, with 628 bodies recovered.
The humanitarian director of the NGO Save the Children has called for the urgent delivery of humanitarian aid and relief to the Gaza Strip in order to alleviate the suffering of children who are victims of the recent storm that hit the Palestinian enclave devastated by a genocidal Zionist attack. Mrs. Cummings said that thousands of children are in urgent need of humanitarian aid and that many essential items are blocked waiting for the crossing points to open to allow this aid to be delivered. She stressed that thousands of people are at risk of disease due to the extreme weather